Welcome to a new lesson from the Lead Generation course. This is Jason, a marketing consultant. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to examine what is demand generation, explore demand generation strategies, realize the differences between demand generation and lead generation. As marketing teams mature, they begin to realize that even the most polished SEO strategies only get them so far. At some point, you need to transform curiosity into customers. The solution? Demand generation. Demand generation marketing is a powerhouse that builds brand awareness, increases website traffic, and secures new leads. It's the antidote to silos between the sales and marketing teams. So, if you want to generate a full, healthy pipeline of prospective customers, then study this lesson carefully. What is demand generation marketing? Demand generation is the process of creating awareness and demand for your products or services. It expands your audience, generates urgency, and clarifies your solution to transform interest into action. Demand generation marketing is all about creating and accelerating a predictable pipeline for your sales team. First, it includes the initial campaigns so that your target audience opts into your mailing list. Furthermore, it guides your audience to engage with your content, attend your events, and more. Demand general marketing nurtures and engages your prospects, keeping your brand top of mind. The goal is to move them through the buyer's journey until they become qualified leads. Then, you can transform them into a new customer with the perfect sales pitch. Summarize your understanding of this section by completing the following. As a comment to this video, I learned that. I relearned that. I discovered that. I plan to. Demand generation versus lead generation. Demand generation grows your audience by attracting new visitors to your website and introducing them to your solutions. On the other hand, lead generation converts your audience into qualified leads. It's a subtle distinction, and the two strategies are deeply connected. Demand general feeds into lead generation. First, it's important to drive awareness and develop interest because not everyone is ready to opt in or convert immediately. Let's break down the key difference between lead generation and demand generation even more clearly. Demand generation, top of the funnel, increases brand awareness, educates your target audience, builds trust, sparks interest. Lead generation, bottom of the funnel, captures audience contact information, generates qualified leads and nurtures them, demonstrates brand value and differentiation, converts high-quality leads to customers. So, should you distinguish demand generation versus lead generation efforts within your inbound marketing strategy? The answer is a resounding yes. With such distinct differences in approach and tactics, it's essential to separate lead general versus demand general within your marketing methodology. Demand general and lead general overlap in certain areas. For example, if you offer product-focused webinars, driving registrations could be considered both. And when nurturing your database, both are applicable for building the relationship as you move them through the conversion funnel. Summarize your understanding of this section by completing the following. As a comment to this video, I learned that. I relearned that. I discovered that. I plan to. B2C versus B2B demand generation strategies. B2C companies typically have to get buy-in from only one person, the customer, and maybe their spouse or family. B2B marketers, on the other hand, usually have to get the buy-in of entire teams, key decision-makers, and sometimes even an entire department. This all adds up to a much longer sales cycle for B2B companies. In certain cases, a B2B purchase decision may take 6 months or even longer than a year. Decisions are made after careful deliberation by multiple parties and various approvals at different levels of the organization. So, your B2B demand generation campaigns are just one step in the process of building your sales funnel. Summarize your understanding of this section by completing the following. As a comment to this video, I learned that. I relearned that. I discovered that. I plan to. Importance of demand generation marketing. Demand generation is similar to attraction marketing in that it gets customers interested in your brand. But instead of relying solely on emotions, it has broader uses and benefits. Increase brand awareness. Enterprise demand generation programs are awareness machines that don't just bring visitors to your website. Well-executed inbound marketing campaigns make your brand stand out to people who may not yet need your product. However, when they constantly encounter your brand in thought leadership posts, on stage at industry conferences, or referenced on social media, those digital demand generation efforts build trust and recognition over time. Part of your demand generation strategy will create waves right away, bringing your website engaged and interested traffic. A new white paper or a research report can do that. But, like all awareness generation strategies, short-term movement is just the tip of the iceberg. Eventually, you'll experience long-term impact as businesses develop a need for your product or service down the road. Even though demand general has a broader focus than lead generation, a well-executed demand generation plan creates a significant uptick in leads. If done properly, demand general fills the top of the funnel with a stream of new potential leads. A certain percentage of these might immediately translate into high-quality leads. However, depending upon your industry and offering, lead nurturing can take months or even years. More qualified leads equal more revenue. Online demand generation is both a short-term and long-term revenue strategy, so you can expect results not just within a few months but also over the long term as you build your pipeline, nurture it, and establish a comfortable, consistent rapport with your audience. Summarize your understanding of this section by completing the following, as a comment to this video. I learned that. I relearned that. I discovered that. I plan to. Demand generation strategies. We broke down some demand generation ideas to help you fill your sales funnel. 1. Blogging. Blog posts full of thoughtful, helpful information that address audience pain points and feed their interests are a cornerstone of long-term awareness and affinity building. Blogging is one of the most popular forms of content marketing to gain visibility online, attract relevant traffic, engage with your audience, and guide them to download relevant content, sign up for webinars, or otherwise take the next step in learning more. Blogs can target your audience throughout the buying journey, but they're most useful at the top of the content marketing funnel. Summarize your understanding of this section by completing the following, as a comment to this video. I learned that. I relearned that. I discovered that. I plan to. 2. Lead magnets. Lead magnets are incredible demand generation marketing engines, especially when paired with blogging and SEO. If your content marketing strategy includes high-value downloadable content that's aligned with your audience's needs, they'll eat it up. Original research is just one way to earn media attention, expand reach, drive online shares, and increase traffic to your site. But there are many other marketing tactics that will convince site visitors to hand over their emails. For instance, you can produce guides, white papers, ebooks, presentations, toolkits, templates, swipe files, infographics, and checklists. From there, you can launch marketing automation sequences to maintain the touch points and engagement. Summarize your understanding of this section by completing the following, as a comment to this video. I learned that. I relearned that. I discovered that. I plan to. 3. Live events. In-person events give industry insiders a place to network, learn cutting-edge know-how, and hear from experts in their field. Therefore, your company can build crucial relationships by participating in industry events or even throwing your own branded events. Conferences allow your brand to stand out by creating truly unique experiences. For example, giant gumball machines, oversized sofas, happy hours, homemade chocolate chip cookies, lotteries, interactive iPad games, dazzling videos, and human-sized Connect 4 are just a few of the potential ideas you could bring to your booth to attract attention and get the conversation started. With the COVID-19 outbreak, you can take creative approaches at virtual events, as well. Lean on what works well digitally, such as video, digital tools, and templates. Summarize your understanding of this section by completing the following, as a comment to this video. I learned that. I relearned that. I discovered that. I plan to. 4. ABM. Account-based marketing. ABM campaigns focus on a narrowly defined audience segment and coordinate your marketing efforts across multiple channels and tactics. Although you're still trying to drive demand with ABM, you're precision targeted with your approach, identifying the specific industry and companies, and sometimes the individuals themselves, you want to target prior to your outreach. An ABM campaign might include outbound activities such as email marketing, LinkedIn ads, InMail, and direct mail. You also might guide your audience to personalized landing pages with customized content or case studies. Summarize your understanding of this section by completing the following. As a comment to this video, I learned that. I relearned that. I discovered that. I plan to. 5. Webinars. Build thought leadership in your industry and boost your pool of opt-ins with webinars. Because they accomplish many of the same goals as live events, webinars are a great substitute if your audience is still wary of social gatherings in a post-quarantine world. Plus, how else can you realistically secure 30+ minutes of your audience's time with your marketing? Webinar content can help your audience overcome common industry pain points or learn about a new product. If you want more impact, then interview complementary solutions providers and industry influencers. This will give everyone access to an expanded audience with little to no extra effort. Summarize your understanding of this section by completing the following. As a comment to this video, I learned that. I relearned that. I discovered that. I plan to. 6. Podcasts. Podcasting is another effective way to capture an audience's attention for 30+ minutes at a time, simply by being a format where audiences are already primed to spend that amount of time tuning in. Better still, the podcasting world is far from hitting its content saturation point. That makes podcasting, for many industries, a relatively low competition way to build thought leadership, establish a cadence of repeated brand touchpoints, and start forging a relationship with your audience. Summarize your understanding of this section by completing the following. As a comment to this video, I learned that. I relearned that. I discovered that. I plan to. 7. Video. Videos are a rich, immersive way to connect with and inspire your audience. It's a great branding tool, as well as a powerful demand generation vehicle. Videos are effective in getting your audience to remember your brand because visual content is recalled at a far higher rate than text-based content. Summarize your understanding of this section by completing the following. As a comment to this video, I learned that. I relearned that. I discovered that. I plan to. 9. Sweepstakes and contests. Everyone loves free stuff. Throw online sweepstakes and other contests that give your audience a chance to win a free product, service, or reward in exchange for their contact information. If you sell subscription-based software, offering a year of your product for free can also create a loyal convert. If you really want your contest to shine, then ask questions that your audience must answer in order to enter. Their responses can become data points in your market research, help you build customer personas, or create a rich pool of user-generated content. Summarize your understanding of this section by completing the following. As a comment to this video, I learned that. I relearned that. I discovered that. I plan to. 10. PR campaigns. PR is like a Swiss Army knife of demand generation marketing, as it presents more opportunities for you to connect with your audience than we have room to list here. For example, connect with the media. Stay on top of the news and think about how your company can enter relevant topical conversations. Then, pitch your stories to the media. Have charismatic leadership? Get interviewed in blogs, podcasts, TV, and radio. Or, turn your videos, tools, and original research into link-building assets. Then, share them with industry insiders to use as reference points in their own content. The more you can get people talking, the more you boost brand credibility and authority in the process of building demand. Summarize your understanding of this section by completing the following. As a comment to this video, I learned that. I relearned that. I discovered that. I plan to. 12. Strategic partnerships. Look to strategic partnerships to drive demand. What this involves is partnering with other companies who target the same, or similar, personas as you. Then, co-host events, podcasts, or webinars, or produce a major piece of content together, combining exclusive information from each partner to create original insights. Each company will benefit from the information boost and access to the other's network. Summarize your understanding of this section by completing the following, as a comment to this video. I learned that. I relearned that. I discovered that. I plan to. 13. Free tools. One of the best demand generation tactics is to offer a free online tool. Create a tool people love and they'll not only use it repeatedly but will also tell others about it, helping you to expand your reach among relevant audiences. As an added bonus, tools tend to drive a lot of backlinks. For example, Pingdom's free page load time tester has generated more than 2.2 million links from third-party sites at the time of this writing. Calculators, performance checkers, and other interactive tools don't put you in front of a passive audience. Instead, your audience actually engages with your brand as they use the tool. As a result, you'll create a memorable experience that leaves a lasting impression on your audience. Summarize your understanding of this section by completing the following, as a comment to this video. I learned that. I relearned that. I discovered that. I plan to. Let's summarize. Now and by end of this lesson, you should be able to examine what is demand generation. Explore demand generation strategies. Realize the differences between demand generation and lead generation.